One by one, we began to roll up at Kevin's cottage. It looked like the sort of place you'd escape to for peace and quiet, which naturally meant we were about to ruin it. Kevin, in true host fashion, had fired up the fryer, showing off his questionable but strangely impressive talents. As the oil bubbled away, Dawson decided he wasn't settling for chips. No, he wanted something bigger. A bass. Standing there, he proudly recounted how he'd outwitted the beast, reached straight into the lake, bare-handed, and pulled it free like some kind of wild outdoorsman. But then, Kevin's golden, magnificent fries called out to him like sirens. And as night fell, we all sat back, watching the sun sink behind the trees, knowing tomorrow would put both our skills and our sanity to the test.
It's early Saturday morning. Kevin is standing by his truck, torn between bringing organic water or just a regular bottled water. Clyde is wrestling with the trailer. And once we're finally on the road, the car fills with the usual nonsense, each of us bragging about how brilliant we're going to be.
We arrive, and as we roll into the compound, it's immediately obvious. This is a world made entirely of rocks, water, dust, and mud. Basically a theme park designed to destroy motorcycles.
It is, without question, a magnificent day here at Rockhound. The riders are lined up and starting to ride under the Red Bull start line. The unmistakable aroma of two-stroke oil drifting through the field. There's an electricity in the air now, anticipation building with every twist of the throttle. And what awaits them is no gentle Saturday outing. This is a course of rocks, of ruts, and of mud. It will demand absolute concentration, precision, and endurance. A long, grueling day lies ahead. But right here, in this very moment, it all begins. Welcome to Dirt Bike Enduro. Welcome to Rockhound.
Yep, that's Clyde, riding off into the sunset. Ego shattered, leg in pain, and a ride only started minutes ago. You're probably wondering how it all started. An hour ago, we rolled into the rock quarry. The air smelled like dust, oil, and pure chaos. Bikes lined up like predators, engines humming, ready to pounce. They said bring gummies. We did, just not the kind you install on your bike, but the type that you eat. Rockhound isn't just an event, it's a story, a legend in the making, and today, we're the main characters.
Chapman's Passage. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? But in reality, it's less of a trail and more of a medieval torture device for motorcycles. Last year, it was a swamp. Mud so deep you could probably lose a Labrador in it. This year, completely different. Bone dry. So dry, in fact, the dirt had turned into talcum powder, and traction was about as reliable as summer tires on ice. The open stretches gave us a bit of breeze, but under the canopy, it was like riding straight into a blast furnace. And if you're expecting rhythm or flow here, forget it. These trails have all the elegance of a drunk shopping cart being pushed down a flight of stairs.
Eventually we stumbled onto Victoria's Secret, a trail with many surprises. Kevin was leading, Trevor was still fiddling with his water pack, and Arthur found a rider who thought the best way forward was backwards. Arthur, naturally, showed everyone how to ride up the rock properly, because, of course he did. Shortly, Arthur came upon the team, stranded mid-hill, all complaining about how impossible it was. And right there, among them, was Clyde, the first casualty. Once we reached the road, and with a sore leg and his ego in tatters, Clyde decided he'd had enough. He limped off back to the cottage and the dock to grab a fishing rod and call it a day. As we waved goodbye, Kevin checked his watch and said, "We're not even 10 minutes into the ride." Clyde was back at the cottage, feet up, margarita in hand, nursing his leg. The rest of us, we pushed on, straight into the next test sections. Rockhound is not for the faint of heart. It's a brutal, dusty, soul-destroying labyrinth, seemingly designed by someone who actively despises fun and flowy trails. The way we pass the wreckage of ambition, broken men staring into the middle distance. And here's the thing, it wasn't the big climbs that finished them off. No, it was the short ones. Short, steep, and utterly cruel. The sort of climbs that punish hesitation with a face full of dirt and the laughter of your mates. One by one, we clawed our way up these rocky steps of misery, through trails strewn with the corpses of good intentions. Some had already surrendered, turning back, knowing what lay ahead was steeper, nastier, and determined to eat them alive. We were hot, baked in dust, our brains rattling around like stones in a blender. So we bypassed one of the test sections. Out here, the only thing keeping you moving was grit, stubbornness, and maybe a splash of outright madness. And then, around the bend, through the haze of dust and despair, we found Bob. We limped into the lunch stop. The sun was merciless. Time to refuel and for some tacos. After lunch, we had our first obstacle. Dawson went first. Calm throttle, clean climb. Safe. Sensible. Then Joel, Mr. Kawasaki. Being a motocross man, he knows one technique. Pin it and pray. It was brilliant. We skipped the nastier trails and passed riders already broken. Victims of sunstroke, dust, and despair. Then came the water crossings. They looked shallow, innocent. They weren't. Beneath the surface, rocks waited to throw you off and drown your bike. Each water crossing grew longer, each one trying harder to buck us off and send us swimming. Then came the big one, the longest yet. Stay to the right, they said. I watched Kevin pick his line, held my breath, and followed. We finally made it to where the real carnage started with two-lane blacktop. Usually a river, this year dry, which left a brutal exit climb. One by one, riders tried. One by one, they failed. Then, Joel. A new line spotted. First attempt, disaster. Second attempt, magnificent. Pure motocross brilliance. Dawson followed. Less elegance, more trench warfare. By then, we were done. Sunburnt, dehydrated, cooked to a crisp. So we turned for home. Broken, battered, but somehow, still riding. And then, at long last, we ducked under the Great Red Bull finish line. Not gracefully, not with style. More like battered survivors limping into port after a storm. The bikes looked like they'd been dragged through a war zone. We looked worse. But we'd done it. Rockhound had thrown everything at us. Rocks, rivers, heat, misery. And somehow we were still standing. Barely. This wasn't just a trail ride. It was a test of character, stamina, and how much abuse a human backside can take. And the best part? We'd do it all again next year. Because Rockhound isn't about fun. It's about proving you can survive something that very nearly wasn't survivable.
And then we met Bob. He rode Rockhound last year, and the trails never let him go. Now he sits forever on a bench, clutching a beer. We asked about what lay ahead, but Bob wasn't giving up his secrets. Some say he's still trying to finish the loop. Others say if you ride too slow, you'll join him. Just bones, hops, and barley.